Welcome to Paramita Bhattacharya's English Literature class.
Hello students, today we are going to discuss the chapter 7, A King's Tale from the book Blossoms. This is actually an adaptation of the ancient Arthurian legends about King Arthur. During the medieval times in England, there were stories of valorous kings which were very popular as folklores. And this is one adaptation from such stories about the adventures of King Arthur. Now in this story we will come to know about this valorous king. He was a very popular and brave king. Now who was King Arthur? And we will come to know why people spoke about him so much. What was the reason of his popularity? So who was King Arthur? He was the son of King Uther Pendragon and Lady Igraine. Many hundreds of years ago in England, there ruled a very just king called Uther Pendragon. He was very protective about his people and he was very just to everyone. The people of Britain, they lived in peace and happiness and they peacefully did agriculture, tilling of their fields, that is doing agriculture, which was their profession or the profession of the common people, and there was prosperity in the country. Now the king and the lady Igraine, they gave birth to a baby and they named him Arthur. But unfortunately, very soon, the king and the queen, both of them died, leaving the baby to their trusted people, that is their trusted knights. Sir Ector was given the responsibility to raise up the baby by Sir Ulfius and magician and prophet Merlin. Now these people were very loyal to the royal family. As soon as the king died, there were many people now who wanted to usurp the power and they wanted to become the king. And there was a lot of conflict in the country and there was a possibility that they would kill the baby to take up the power. So the baby had to be protected. So that is why immediately after the king's death, the brave knight Sir Ulfius took the baby to Sir Ector, and under the protection of Sir Ector, this little baby Arthur grew up to be a valorous heir to the throne. So let us look into the chapter here, where the description of Merlin is given. He is a prophet and a magician and a brave knight. And Ulfius was also a brave knight. They were trusted by the royal family. Now they named the boy Arthur. And being a true knight, Sir Ector asked no more questions why the baby was entrusted to him. He could immediately understand the gravity of the situation and he took the responsibility of the child. And as it was feared, trouble broke out in England, in Britain, and the barons, they fought among themselves. They tried to plot against one another, tried to kill one another, and there was utter lawlessness in the country. Now travelers were no more safe. They were robbed and the peasants were, that is the farmers, they were very, very unhappy. There was no proper agriculture and people became very poor. And meanwhile, this little baby Arthur, he soon grew up under the care of Sir Ector. 18 years passed by and there was very bitter rivalry going on still about who would become the king. And the people, they fought among one another to usurp the power. And the people were fed up of such quarrels and fights and lawlessness. They were longing for a just king to take up the power and bring prosperity to the place, bring back the peace. It was a Christmas time and time of the festivity, and people were hungry and frightened. One day, in a churchyard means a graveyard, people found a large stone on which there was fixed a magnificent sword. It was a beautiful sword in which in golden letters it was inscribed. Inscribed means carved. It was carved that whoever pulls this sword is by right of birth, the King of England. Now immediately the barons, they started pushing one another. They jostled among each other. Jostled means they pushed one another, trying to be the first one to pull out the sword. But unfortunately none of them succeeded. At last it was Arthur. He was only 18 years old, and he pulled out the sword with very little effort, and the sword was pulled out, and as it was proclaimed by the inscription that whoever can pull out the sword from the rock will become the king, so he was declared the king by the peasants, by the people of England. So it was a bright morning, May morning. It was the month of May, and in the presence of many people, in the presence of the merchants, craftsmen, barons, and everyone, Arthur was still very slender. Slender means thin and young. He lifted the sword easily in front of everyone, and thus he was cheered by the crowd as their king. And after becoming the king, Arthur's first duty was to restore the peace of the country. He wanted to make England secure, and in this mission he was helped by the wise Merlin. Like his father Arthur Pendragon, he was also very, very brave and a just king, and he constantly thought about the good of the common people. He fought several battles for the poor people, and he fought against injustice, and people who ill-treated the weak people. So he punished the wicked, and he tried to restore the peace of the area. Now one day, Merlin took him to a place of a very sweet smelling flowers, and there was a lake there, and from the lake suddenly a magical hand arose. It was a beautiful arm adorned with golden bracelets, and it rose from the water, and the hand held a beautiful sword, and there were rubies and emeralds in it. It was a very special sword. Merlin cried out, "Oh, look at it! It is an Excalibur." It was the sword. The name of the sword was Excalibur, and it was actually a magical sword which is given to only a person who is very honest and fearless soldier can possess such a magical sword. And this was gifted by this hand to the King of England, King Arthur. He accepted this enchanted magical sword, and the mystery of the hand appearing from the depths of the lake, it just left the king spellbound. "I shall never use this magical sword for any personal benefit," thought King Arthur, and he declared that from now on he will use it only for the prosperity of his country. Now King Arthur soon married a beautiful lady, Lady Guinevere, who was the daughter of King of Cornwall. And on the wedding day, Merlin took him to a pavilion, that is a room which is used for taking refreshments. There it was a very decorated pavilion with painted crimson and dark blue. Crimson means red color, and it was richly colored and decorated. The floor was marbled, and in the middle of the room there was a huge oak round table made of the oak tree. So in this round table, people, about 50 people could sit there. So in this round table gathered all the faithful knights of King Arthur, and they vowed on that day in a meeting that took place that from now on they will spend their lives protecting the meek people, protecting the weak people, and they will punish the wicked people. And since then, many valorous battles were fought, and the knights, they took many dangerous missions, many hazardous adventures were there, and the stories of their goodness and kindness spread throughout the country. And this is the reason why King Arthur was so popular in the legend. Now, what is a legend? A legend is a story that is believed by many to be true, but it is not proved. And Arthurian stories are actually, they are found in the folklores, and they were never written, but in the medieval times people, they spoke about King Arthur, and the stories, they moved from one generation to another generation in oral rendition. So here we have the story of the knight who becomes a king, and he becomes a very just king like his father, and he wins several battles now to protect his country. And at the end we find that he is we find that at the end that King Arthur, he declares that he should be placed, he becomes old, and he declares at the end that he should be placed in a barge and left in the river. So after many happy years of ruling, King Arthur finally came to the end of his life, and it is said that he sailed towards the setting sun. So the setting sun is symbolical of the end of his life. And in this story we come to know that the story has a message for everyone, that power that is possessed by people should be exercised to help the weak people, and Mother Nature is pleased when such acts of kindness take place. And when such acts of kindness takes place, Mother Nature showers its blessings on the people. So here we come to the end of the story. Meet you again in our next class.